So, I found something. I found something good. I found some good stuff. So I was playing Genshin. I finally got in. I'm able to play, and it's been really, really fun. I love this game. It's actually really interesting, especially the way that they kind of did this Breath of the Wild thing, and the way you interact with the world is also pretty fun. Now, you read the title. I'm not clickbaiting you. I'm actually very serious. I found some type of stun loop kind of thing. I guess you could say a stun loop or a stagger loop is probably a more efficient and better way of saying it. It's really not difficult. It does take a couple of tries. Um, it's really fun to do. So it's mainly for I guess spear or polearm users and claymore or great sword users. It just depends on how you want to say it, and it's dependent that you get your very last hit off, which you more than likely will. The enemies in this game, it's really not too difficult to land. Your final hit that knocks enemies all up in the air, things like this. So this is what this is. I'm using Xiangling. I actually grew on Xiangling. I really like her. I think she's cute. She's pretty funny too. And she's really quirky. I kind of like her. I never expected that. The same goes for Paimon. Paimon has really good one-liners. She's really sassy too for someone so short and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. But I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. So I'm gonna play it, and then I'm going to just explain it to you guys how to do it and how I guess canceling and frames and stuff like that kind of works. So just to put it simply, like I said, it's heavily reliant on that you get that very last hit off. So I'm gonna play it here, and I'm gonna pause it as we go through. So I'm just doing my basic attack. It's nothing crazy. And then that hit right here that knocks them up into the air. What you want to do is you want to dash cancel it as soon as it lands, though. So you can see the numbers here indicating that I landed the hit. So as soon as it hits, you want to dash forward. Now, there's two buttons to dash. It's shift and it's also right click. I use right click. It's a little bit better. It's more convenient. You don't have to like really break your fingers or anything like that. Even though you shouldn't be if you're playing this game, but you also don't want to sprint. You want to dash. You just want to dash, not hold the dash button. You want to tap it and then run, do your basic run forward a little bit. So you can be in range of the enemy and restart your combo, and then it just keeps looping. And the other final point is you want to basic attack them before they hit the ground. So you can see he got lifted up off the ground here, and I start my combo before he hits the ground to lift him back up and to reset it. And you can just loop this over and over and over and over and over. It's really that simple. It does take a couple times to really get it going and to really do it. Now, arguably, this enemy is very, I guess you could say, lightweight. If you play Smash Bros, there's heavyweights, lightweights, medium, stuff like this. But I do have example of another enemy. Now, most enemies can't get out of this. There's so far two enemies that I can confirm that can get out of this stun loop. It is the mages with the barriers, and it's the thunder lady that that can summon thunder bats and can create a electrical field that can like four shot you. It's really irritating. I hate fighting her. They both can just straight up teleport out of it. So what I'm going to do is I actually have an example of when I not only failed to do it, but also showing how they teleport out of it. I should also caution you guys that you should use this combo if the situation arises for it. You shouldn't be basing your entire playstyle off of it. Obviously, if there's like 9 different enemies here, like it's going to be kind of difficult to just focus on one. You usually want to use this in like a 1v1 like this, or maybe even a 2v1 depending on what kind of enemies you have around you. So give me a second. I'm going to pull up the combo with Xiangling and the barrier mage and show you what that kind of looks like. So I ended up finding it. I think this is actually a really great example. So you have to obviously get their barrier down. If their barrier is up, I mean, you can't do anything. But I got his barrier down. I got into position, and what I mean by I got into position is I wanted to make sure they don't get interrupted by anything. So like if I knock him against this wall, he might end up here, like along the bricks, and it might like mess up the combo and things like that. And you don't want that. So I'm getting in position to knock him this way, going toward the grass. And I'm just gonna play it, and then we're gonna rewind it, and I'm going to go into what happened here. So it's very simple. I messed up, not on purpose, but I just ended up messing it up. If I can get there, I ended up messing it up here. When I dashed, he hit the ground, and then I restarted the combo. Now this is very interesting because even though certain enemies, when they hit the ground and you restart your combo, you can still stagger them and still get your combo going. Regardless, which is what happened here. Even though you messed it up, it doesn't mean that you can't try again. So, like I said, I took a little too long after the dash to um to start my next combo. Right after, it's almost immediately as soon as that goes off, you dash. But you see, I already took too long. My basic attack should have been out by now, and then yeah, he hit the ground, and then he teleports. Yeah. So him and the mage girl, like I said, are the only two that can really get out of this combo without any issues. Chong Yun isn't here. He was actually in the first video, but Chong Yun can also do this. Now you also have to remember that he's a great sword user or a claymore user, and their attacks are a lot slower. So you have a lot less of a window to perform this. So that dash into a basic attack is a lot more. That window timing is a lot smaller. So you can do it with them as well, but just be very cognizant that like it's going to be pretty difficult to get that going with characters like this. So I'm going to go into the archers. So for archers, it's actually a lot easier. It's reliant on how good your aim is. If your aim is bad, good luck, dog. Good luck if your aim is bad. But pretty much you just want to land a headshot. So what happens is that whenever you get a charged shot, that's a headshot. Um, Enemies will literally fly into the air, and then they also have to get up. So what's going to happen is as they're in their animation of getting up, you want to shoot the arrow, so as soon as their animation is complete, they get knocked right back down to the point to where they can't respond to you. So I'm just going to play it here just like I did with the other video, and we're just going to kind of go over it and look over it. Yeah, it's like I said, it's really not that difficult. It's just you got to land those headshots. If you're not landing the headshots, you're probably not going to really get anything. So like I said, as they're getting up, as you see here, he's still getting up, and I already shot my arrow. It shoots him in the head. He gets, that's very high. They usually do get launched really really high. It goes here, shoots him in the head. He launches up. I'm already in the animation of starting another arrow. I wait it out. As he's getting up, I shoot my arrow, and then they literally can't respond to you. Again, these are mechanics that I'm hoping you guys can use and can increase your survivability, because I think that's probably the most important thing. I actually didn't think I was gonna like mages and archers too much. I'm liking archers a little bit more than mages, um, but it seems like it's a pretty balanced game. I do enjoy it. I do like the anatomy of the game and how they structured their battle system. It is pretty good. I genuinely think so. So for this final portion, I'm just gonna kind of talk about some of the things that I just kind of noticed. I noticed that your actual basic attack damage is nowhere near as effective as using elements. You want to just spam elements as much as possible. Um, when I mean it's like such a night and day difference, it's really really obvious that the point of the game is more so abilities rather than your basic attacks. And you're using your basic attacks when when your abilities are on cooldown. I noticed this when I failed a certain mission. It's not this one. This one I'm kind of just figuring out a puzzle that I saw. and just looking for all of the wind, I guess you can say, totems. Um, there's a lot of burst damage in this game. There's so much burst damage. It's insane. I've I've seen. I was always wondering like, how are these? There are people playing the game and they're like just mowing through people. But then I kind of took a step back and I realized, holy crap, they're not really like using their basic attack unless it's someone like Razor, who like uses his ult and then his weapon becomes an element. That's obviously like using your weapon, but you want elements up as much as possible. You always want some type of element up. You don't want to just basic attack all day. Not saying obviously it's useless. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's night and day difference of using elements versus using your sword. It's so Jesus fucking Christ. It's insane. The other thing I noticed as well, um, stamina does run out really fast as well. It runs out pretty fast. I was in a fight once and I was like, wow, like I'm already out of stamina. And I wasn't like sprinting. I was kind of just dodging. And depending on the kind of fight it is, sometimes you got to dodge a lot, especially with bigger enemies. You got to dodge quite a bit. You have to dodge a lot because they have a lot of AoE usually. They slam the ground and then like, all the rocks come out. So you got to like continuously dodge because they'll combo that continuously. That's something that's really, really crazy. The way the game interacts as well with your weapon, your base weapon, such as let's say you have no claymore user or a two-handed sword or a great sword, whatever you want to call it. Mining's actually going to take a while. It's going to suck. The type of weapons in the game actually do matter. If you want to mine things and you want to destroy like rocks, you want to destroy crystals and things like this, you want someone with a great sword because they'll like two-shot it. Even if they're the same level too. That's why it's so crazy because they'll be the same level as someone else and it's like your other character isn't doing as much damage. I should also say the type of weapon also dictates your I guess you could say stagger when you're fighting opponents. With bigger boss, I don't want to even say bosses, like mini bosses. I call them mini bosses, but I mean like those big guys with the shields and stuff like that. You having a claymore user, once the shield is down, you get a way better chance of staggering and increasing your survivability off of that over like the traveler who doesn't really, who just has a sword and it's not going to really do much unless he uses an ability and things like this, or you ult with like jungling or like Amber or something to give yourself a little bit of breathing room by creating some stagger and things like this. It's really interesting as well. I think the last thing I want to kind of say is like, I don't know how I feel about Barbara. I really don't. I really don't know how I feel about her. She's like, her healing is, it's good, but at the cost of this is gonna sound so wrong, but at the cost of healing, which is making you wet. Oh my god. It's not really, I don't know if that's worth it. Like I was really contemplating like, is it better to just cook a lot of food? Like cook a lot of food, go, ingredient farming, like this is Kingdom Hearts 3 or some shit. And just using the cooking as your healing mechanism, especially if you're in a single player experience where if you press B, the game pauses. The game will pause for you. So it's like, do you want to put yourself in a really bad position with Barbara and possibly, heal yourself and end up losing it? Or would you rather just replace Barbara and just rely on cooking? I'm leaning a little bit more toward, let's just rely on cooking. Becoming wet just to... the elemental status wet just to get healed, I don't know how I feel about that, because I wish I didn't delete it, but I had a fight where Barbara's the only healer as well, where I was fighting thunder and ice. I don't think I need to explain myself for that. Imagine you're healing and you're fighting ice and thunder, like you'll just get CC'd to death. you will literally just get CC'd to death. So it's really difficult to really put a finger on these things sometimes. So I don't know. Not saying she's bad. It's just, it's like, I think I'd rather rely on cooking. Let me know what you guys think. I wouldn't, because sure you can make other enemies debuff with wet, but it's still kind of like you're also making yourself that as well, and you're putting yourself in danger. And wet is one of the very easy things that combos with like almost everything in the game as well. So it makes it very difficult to come up with the argument of using Barbara over cooking. I mean, I guess you have a certain amount of quantity when it comes to cooking, I guess, but even then it's still very, very difficult to not convince me that cooking is just better over Barbara because of that status ailment. I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't, especially since, like I said, or I should just say Hydro. Hydro is one of the easiest ones to combo with. It's so easy to combo with. Sure, in this specific fight, it's such a good move, but it like Hydro obviously counters fire. But if this was literally any other element, you would be at a disadvantage out of 4. So you have a 3 out of 1 chance of like getting your ass handed to you for using Barbara. Just to heal yourself for playing the game. So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on that. So I'm gonna make a Klee video as well because I still think Klee is incredibly busted. I think Klee is just really, really stupid. I think I'm gonna make a dedicated Barbara video. I'll see, but we'll see what happens down the grapevine. I hope you guys have a great day. Subscribe if you feel that this was helpful and you learned something, and share it with your friends who are also excited for Genshin. Right now, my most favorite character and waifu is Xiangling, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really into her when I saw her in, you know, the videos and stuff. I was really into Amber actually. I think she's cute. I like what she's wearing too, but Xiangling really grew on me. But let me know who your waifu is actually in this comment sections too. So thank you guys. Thank you. I will come out with more mechanical videos. I will also play other games. The Among Us video is almost done as well. And watch out for the Klee video as well. And I think that's it. So without further ado, I say thank you guys and have a really good day.